And I think that's important to me. And that's why Jason Momoa just came in. He's coming in the door right now. He just rang the door.
Yeah.
Jason, come on in, Jace. It's unlocked.
Okay, let's hold for a second.
Oh, we should go with that. It's okay. It's okay. Hey, Justin, come sit with us.
Justin Child's here, guys.
We were just, brother. Mwah. We were just talking beautiful things about you.
Sorry, Justin. Ryan's downstairs. Okay. Are you kidding?
We got a real filmmaker in here, guys. There's a real filmmaker in here. It's Justin Child's in the house. Okay.
I got something on my mind, but words, they won't do it justice. I could write it on a sign, but words, they won't do it justice.
Aloha. Welcome to ICAN Talks. My name is Fairai Richmond, and I'm here with...
I'm his father, and I am Branscombe Richmond.
I'm a filmmaker, native Hawaiian, Tahitian, and we are here to talk about Chief of War.
Oh, man, what a great time last night. Wasn't that great last night?
Yeah, I think we slept 5 hours. I still have my my pass here. And what can you say about the show?
Epic, dynamic, gigantic. What an experience. I will say that it's our time. Can I say that? Is it okay to say that?
Yeah.
It's our time to be able to share our mana'o, our feelings, our kuleana. And never before, and I've been at this a long time, never before has there been such a inclusion. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
To be included with all the right elements. Because this is not you can't do this unless you have all the key components. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And last night, for the first time, we were kind of looking at this. If I can back up for a second.
Yeah.
My dad was in this business, doing movies like Wake of the Red Witch, Donovan's Reef, Ugly American.
Mutiny on the Bounty.
Mutiny on the Bounty. And I got to work with my father on that when I was 5, 6 years old, filming in Tahiti for MGM, which took 2 years. It filmed for 2 years with Louis Milestone, a wonderful director. Wow. And, I don't know if I'm going to be right or wrong about this, but Jason Momoa is kind of the Marlon Brando of our time.
He really is.
Is that a good way to say that?
Yeah. Yeah.
And our hats off to you, Jason, and all your team and all the people. And I'm just really blessed to be a part of it. And I'm going to say all my sons are on there.
I get killed.
They got killed.
17 times.
That's it. And you and your two brothers, Tirani and Maru'o, are also stunt guys. And that's how we all kind of started in the industry.
Yeah. So we just watched the show last night. We just watched the first 2 episodes. And I'll be honest, I was nervous. I didn't eat anything yesterday. I was so nervous because we had worked on this. So basically when I got on as a stuntman, I grew up watching my father make movies and television shows. But I think deep down inside of any indigenous native person, especially the native Hawaiians and Polynesians, I think you were born, there's some sort of ancestral part of you that was born to run through the jungle naked with a spear. And there's just that ancient primal nature to us. And so to be involved with this show was a great dream of mine. And I think our ancestors are smiling upon what Jason has done here. And, obviously, and Thomas Pa'asibit.
Yeah.
What I can say, I was just very grateful to be on this show. It's a dream come true. I could have died after it was finished filming, but and there was just so much hard work. I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of money that we were spending every day. Jason really put the show on his shoulders, not as just an actor, but as basically the leader of production. I know that it can be costly sometimes to do things in America, and Jason put his money where his mouth was and said, no, we're doing this in Hawaii, and he represented for the Hawaiian people, and he just he cast as many Hawaiians and local Hawaii people as he possibly could, and shot as much as he possibly could in Hawaii, and that is a very difficult thing to do.
Honorable as well.
Yeah, and it's a period piece. So, like my dad was saying, it's never been done before. No, never has there been a story of the Hawaiian culture has been told at this level. And I mean, Apple is the biggest company in the world, right? He found the right partner. So God bless Apple for even taking a chance on us as a people. And just doing this period piece, right? It's a lot of shots are at night. They're all out on rough terrain, rough locations, rough weather, far remote places that have never, I mean, there's never really been a large scale production that has been shot on the dried lava fields of Kalapana.
Yeah.
That is impossible to do, to get 500 extras and actors and stuntmen, and then another 350 crew members out there all at one time, to have everybody's art form coalesce perfectly to make each and every little moment work. And so to go back, what I was saying is I was very nervous to see how all of that came together. And I have to say that it coalesced perfectly. Like, I think it's very hard to do Olelo Hawaiian language. It's kind of like doing Shakespeare, right? I know everybody was nervous that had to go out and speak it, and I thought it was pitch perfect. You can always feel like when something's kind of like, it doesn't feel, it just feels a little bit artificial, superficial. It never felt like that. Not one bit, not one note off. I can't say enough about each and every cast member. And then the cinematography, beautiful. The score, beautiful.
Yeah, I was just gonna say the music.
The
Hans Zimmer, for
the
goodness sake.
costumes, the props. I mean, you felt real, and then the screenwriting was dense and but also moved very quickly, and they really laid this beautiful foundation, and it's all true, and it's all our history, and that was. I can't say enough about this show. It's I think it's going to be a cultural phenomenon, just like Shogun. It's something that the world has never seen before, and I was absolutely blown away.
What do you hope the non-native audience gets from Chief of War?
I hope, and I almost don't even hope. I know that people will. See, the thing is, when you think of Hawaii, you think of Waikiki, you think of palm trees,
Correct.
And blue skies, and Mai Tais and stuff. But never before have you really had a chance to actually like get a peer into the culture of it, right? Many cultures have had this. You have, Bollywood has shown many of the Indian culture, so much of the Indian culture. You have Japanese, you have samurai films, you have China. Is Hawaii is not really. We're part of America, but we're almost our own country, right?
Yep.
We're, you can come to America and be another ethnicity, and you can be an American, right? But I don't think you can really come to Hawaii, and this might be a controversial statement, but you can't really come to Hawaii and be a Hawaiian. You know what I mean? You can be a Hawaii local, I think, but you can't really be like a blood Hawaiian.
It's about blood too.
It's about blood,
Yep.
right? And that might be controversial, but it's at the end of the day, it's true. So we are our own culture. We are like our own, people. And so I think for the first time, the world will get an idea about and actually see like who we are as a people. We are not this modernized Waikiki sort of version that everybody sees. We are a dense, rich, beautiful, contradictory culture that's filled with its beautiful flaws and tragedies and rich history, and that honestly gives way for such a great story, because as we all know, you can't have a great story. Story is all about conflict and character moving through that conflict. So cheers to Thomas Paasibit and Jason for finding a way to tell this story of Hawaiian culture with all of that conflict, so that it actually moves forward and it's very cinematic and just it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
What's interesting, as I'm listening to you speak, many things kind of going through my mind. So number one, I would say top of my mind, it's interesting and great for us to take up space as a culture and as a people who are brown. So in many ways, it's a Hawaiian story, but in many ways, it's so much a Polynesian story, which is our brothers from Tahiti and Tonga and Fiji and Samoa and Aotearoa, our Maori brothers. It's reflective of the struggles of what we know from history from the past. Also, at this time in our lives, you know, some people don't want to know and let the history of us to be exposed because of control that may be controversial, or how that they want to skew the people of the U.S. to just obey and kind of understand.
Right. They change the history books.
Right. They're changing the history book. So, hey, man, we're telling the story.
And we are telling the story.
Right. Exactly. And so being in this business for 51 years and being at it a long time.
When movies began, my dad began. That's basically what he said.
Way back in Charlie Chaplin. No, that was my father. But here, who was Tahitian. My dad was Tahitian against all odds.
Yeah.
You know, my mother's from, well, she's Hawaiian from Oahu, but her ohana is actually from Kipahulu, Maui. So when I was a kid, my dad being Tahitian, he did all those Tahitian roles or Polynesian roles, and he was one of those guys too that just put that stuff, makeup on their faces. But I would work extra with my dad. And then I graduated high school, did not have a baseball career that I wanted. And my dad says, "You got a job?" I go, "Well, I'm going to go check IDs at a nightclub at the point after." And he said, "No, you're going to go work extra." So now I kind of thrown back in there. I'm standing in for Nephi Hanneman on Paniolo, which was called Castaway Cowboy with James Garner. And Gregory Ciara was also another guy who stood in, and his stunt guy didn't show up, and I got on my SAG card. I got my first $200 check. And I said, boy, if I could do this every day, I could pay some bills, because we didn't have any money, you know. The interesting thing is, you know, the cobbler has no shoes. So when you have a parent in the industry, sometimes it doesn't always go together. And that's how I kind of got my start. And that's when I started throwing you guys in and doing stunts, because, you know, a lot of brown guys were the bad guys. Thank God.
Thug number 2.
Yeah.
And 4.
You know, I had guys like Selleck and Chuck Norris, all these guys said, "Branscombe, we're going to do a fight, and I want you to be the guy." Steven Seagal. Hey, whatever. So that's kind of an interesting entry. You know, there's a road to get into this industry.
Yeah.
And there's not one particular way to get in, as long as you can get your foot in the door and start singing and dancing. This is what I do. This is how we do it.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Because
no, I do. I mean, you know, I grew up at I think I was very fortunate, because when I would go and visit you on set, and I was not into sports
craft
or
service.
Girls, or I had really reached adolescence when your career started to like really, really take off. When you were doing like Renegade, Hard to Kill, Batman Returns, and all those, you know, all those shows. And so I just wanted to hang around with my dad, you know, and then I just caught the bug early, and I just fell in love with movies. And then I always was like, oh, I want to be a movie actor. I want to be the movie star. And then I would watch you on set, and then I was like, well, who's the guy who created this whole world? And that's really how I fell in love with filmmaking, you know. And then I broke however many cameras of yours and started making
they were yours, son.
Films. And it's become the great love of my life. I had a North Star from the very beginning, and I'm super grateful for that. And I will say, by watching Chief of War, I really truly believe that there's this wave that will come out of this situation. It really hit me really hard, like to want to actually tell stories about my culture for the first time, and to see it done so well. I was really inspired by the show, and to go in that direction. And so yeah, I'm just grateful, because I think also there's going to be a huge wave of other filmmakers here in Hawaii, actors and actresses and everybody, all departments that'll start to tap in to this Native Indigenous Hawaiian Polynesian filmmaking And I think Chief of War will lead the way for that. I don't know. How do you feel?
Well, I was just when you were saying that. So there were guys during my dad's period in the 40s and the 50s, Kuka Tuitama, Jerry Groves, Max Reed, Amy Hanai Gilliam's grandmother, can't remember. My dad, Augie Nevis. Those guys were in Hollywood.
Leo Richmond,
Leo Charles Fairai Richmond. They were in Hollywood when, it was like when Elizabeth Taylor was a little girl, So those are the kind of people that maybe I looked at for a moment because, they were the singers, they were the dancers, they were the entertainers on the sets. There's a great actor named Jonathan Grise. His dad was Tom Grise, who
Napoleon
directed
Dynamite. Rest in peace. Did he pass away?
But his dad directed. I can't remember. But Tom Grise became a lover of the Polynesian story. Oh, he did. He directed the Hawaiians. And you had Manu Tupou. Manu Tupou was another great early actor, and people are going to go, well, who are these people? Those are the guys who got in and there's something about Tongan actors. They have great English. And Manu Tupou, when he said his lines, he really was fantastic. So it's guys like that. A great DP who is from the Missioner books and those guys. He was half Tahitian.
Yeah.
So you just kind of look and you go, okay. So here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just gotta say this again. I just gotta say something real quick. I gotta say this, man. I gotta say this. Jason is the man. Jason is the man. I mean, to watch the show last night. You know how you can tell. I mean, this is because Jason's a character actor, but he's also a movie star, right? And in my opinion, you can always tell who a movie star is, like Tom Cruise, like movie star quality, by just the camera being on him, and he's not saying anything. It's just his look,
right?
And it's just his gaze. No matter which, he can hold the screen, and he can hold the story elements on his shoulders. The guy is half naked, mostly naked, I'd say, more than half naked, just in the bushes, on the dirt, he's grimy and just gruff and brute, and you don't see many people. Tom Cruise is a great example. Tom Cruise is risking his life. Jason is risking his life on this show, and you don't see many actors today doing that. You know what I mean? Really, he's really a man's man. He's really a real person, really accessible.
I was just gonna say he's kind of that guy.
Yeah. I have to tell some stories. So we were on set, right? And we're shooting this big battle scene, and the rain is moving laterally on Kalapana, right? Kalapana, as you know, you made a movie at her feet on Kalapana. Great movie. It's like glass. So when you put your hands down, you will cut your hands, right? It's like a tempered glass everywhere, right? And so you got to be careful everywhere you walk. The rain is moving laterally across the set, right? A lot of the mainland people are just like, oh my God. The first AD's talking to the Apple executives saying, we're going to shut this down, right? And all us stunt guys, we've been rehearsing for 2.5 months. We're ready to rock.
Right.
You know what I mean? We don't care. We're cold.
Let's do this.
Yeah, we're full of adrenaline. Like I said, more of like we're a football team trying to win a game than we are actually a crew trying to make a movie. You know what I mean? It was much more, and we're just out there ready to kill. And I told Jason, we'll kill for you. You know what I mean? Because he set the tone. He set this beautiful tone. He was accessible to every single crew member and cast member. He would go and give the ha to the security guards, to the assistants, to everybody. Talked with Jason. He's just not a normal movie star. He's just one of us. And the rain is moving laterally across Kalapana. And the tents are blowing away, and it just and I could hear people saying, "Shut this down," and then Jason just looks over to the first AD and says, let's shoot this freaking thing, grab the cameras, let's go. And all the stunt guys were like, let's go. So we go out there, we get in our cables, we get our weapons, we get our hair and makeup. The rain is just pumping. It's like, and then we just go out and we do these cool shots. They're called zipper shots, right? So it's where the camera like moves past through all the stunt guys and we all collide with each other. And we did this huge zipper shot and people are flying everywhere. And we get the take, we do it again, and we're just pumped. And there's a lot of people out there just kind of, but you know, and the tent's just like, oh my gosh, these guys are crazy, you know? And then finally we do it. Jason goes, all right, that's a wrap. And then he goes, everybody come in. So we all, and I have a video of this. And so everybody gets into this huge huddle and we start chanting this huge Hawaiian chant together. And we're just like out there together, like as one people, as one team, you know what I mean? Just out there to make something beautiful. And it's moments like that. Well, I'll never be able to go home and express that to my wife or to tell my children exactly the way that I felt at that moment, you know, because we were alive, you know, we felt alive. And we were making this piece of art about our culture and our ancestors. You could feel our ancestors smiling. I could feel my tutu Alice like looking down at me, like proud and smiling that we actually had this moment to tell this historic moment in time that where our culture came from and where we all came from. You know what I mean? And then there would be times on set when you had like 300 background artists and stunt people and actors on one side, and then you have Cliff Curtis on another side, and we're all screaming at each other. Jason screaming, and I just remember like crew members like Ralph Milani and Rosie Zeta Guzman, you know, all these different departments, and they just sit there and they're just crying because it just looks like those paintings that you saw as a kid in your tutu, your uncle's auntie's house on the walls. You know, you're just looking at this like, oh my gosh, they did it. You know, all the feathers and all the wardrobe and just all these beautiful Polynesian faces out there. And you know, we didn't even need to eat, drink, nothing. We were just there on pure adrenaline and pure belief. And led by this man who had this vision, and he saw it all so clearly, and to see all of that coalesce so perfectly on screen, it was almost like our ancestors, or Keakua was just channeling this whole thing.
Well,
through
I would
him.
say he probably was, because you're in Kalapana.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, you know, the Mana'o there is the spiritual feeling there, and then the history of being in Kalapana.
But yeah, that too, but also just the whole show.
Sure.
Like I couldn't have seen it that way. Even when I was reading the scripts, I saw it, but I didn't see the vision, just, you know, that he had, and that Tom and Pa had. You know, it really came across perfectly. Justin Chan absolutely murdered the first 2 episodes. Just great, just beautiful direction. I have to talk about some of the cast too. Like, I wanted to say this. I was thinking about this in the car. When I say a pitch perfect show, what I mean is I'm a filmmaker. That's all. I see everything. I see the world through the eyes of a filmmaker. I just look at everything cinematically, and especially when I look at the details of how things are done cinematically in a show like this, and they didn't miss a note. You know, you have Jason, who is, you believe that Jason can beat the crap out of anybody. You know what I mean? But he also has that nice, gentle, soft side. You know what I mean? You believe in him. He's got this gigantic brute strength quality. You just believe that he could crush anybody. So you'll follow him, right? You follow him on that journey. And then he's got Siva and Tekohe, and they're a nice balance with him, right? Tekohe's got the little softer, gentle giant side. Then you got Tekohe, who's got this smart alecky, sort of like confidant, beautiful man side sort of thing going on. And then you have Te'ao, who is another female she's gorgeous, but she also looks like she could beat the crap out of anybody. So you have that going on, right? Then all of a sudden you got Luciana Buchanan coming in, that's Queen Kahomanu. And with all this killing and violence and stuff, she's doing less, right? So it's harder to do less, right? Like less is more. It's because you can't have everybody chewing it up. Like, Tamora
Right.
Morrison, no matter what, he could sing "Row, row, row your boat" on the screen, and he will just
Chew it up.
right?
Yep.
He's a force of nature, right? So you got him coming strong. Then you got Brandon Finn kind of offsetting that a little bit, and then you have Luciane, who just becomes this beautiful light. Those scenes in the cave and all of that, she just brings this believability to it and so everybody is, it's like movies are like a symphony, right? As we know, everybody, you play the clarinet, I
Right.
play the trombone, you got the bass, and everybody's got a cymbal and everybody's got to play perfectly. And I got to give big ups to Pa Sibit and Jason for arranging that, because you can't be perfectly historical. You have to still tell a movie. You have to still tell a cinematic
Entertainment,
story.
sure,
You
as
still
well.
have to entertain. So they found a way to do that with the show and have, mythology is our stories that we've been told to time and time again for thousands of years, right? So the Odysseus and is like, it has a direct reflection on Star Wars, has a reflection on The Godfather, right? It's all pretty much the similar Lord of the Rings. It's all Fast and the Furious, right? It's all the sort of the same stories, right? And so they figured out a way to tell this sort of mythological story with mythological archetypes, and everybody fit that piece, and then they all played it perfectly. Not one
I was
person was
just gonna
too
say
high.
that.
Moses Goods. I'm sorry if I'm missing
No,
anybody.
it's okay.
Moses Goods. Oh my God,
Yeah.
killed it. Like,
A lot of beautiful notes are being played,
yeah,
just like you said.
in harmony,
Right.
right? And I just yeah, I have to just give it up to them. Everything was perfect, and I can't wait for the world to see it. And then it was so great to work with my brothers. And
You know what the happiest day in a man's life is? Is when his kids got a full-time job.
yeah.
That's the happiest day in a man's life, is when your kids are working at what they love to do. I just have to say
No,
that.
and it's cool because we've got to, when I directed my first feature, I was able to get my father. I had to push and pull to get my father on the show, and there was a moment in my life where my dad was like, you got this great job working on set. I was working as a location manager. He's like, you got this great job working on set, and you stick to it. And I was like, no, I think I'm gonna go after this filmmaking thing, And then I think it was 6 months later after that we had that conversation, and then my dad's walking through. You're walking through base camp, and all of a sudden, and then his son is on a hill. He's screaming and yelling, directing 100
Zombies.
people, zombies. Yeah, and he's like, all right, maybe there's something to it, and that was a beautiful. I mean, those are beautiful times when you can spend quality time working with.
Or working with kangaroos.
Or working with
Yeah.
kangaroo. Then we did it again, and it's a beautiful time to be able to share that. I mean,
Children and animals.
that's the thing, is that my grandfather, my dad's father, Leo Richmond, God bless, rest in peace. He through the random twist of fate, found his way found a way to Hollywood from Tahiti, of all places. It couldn't be any further away.
Well, he was
from
at the
Hollywood.
right place at the right time.
Right.
He was at the right place at the right time, only because he was born in 1914. He came here when he was 18, 19 years old. And then in the 40s, all the Polynesian movies with Dorothy Lamour, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope started to get into Hollywood. And my dad was at the right, he was a beautiful Tahitian man, could sing and dance and jump off the mast of a big ship. And that kind of opened the door.
What would you say? Why do you love the movie business, and what do you love about Hollywood, and what do you love about this industry? What keeps you going?
Well, for me personally, to be able to experiment with the industry, it's changing all the time. I mean, we did television and movies, and now it's streaming, it's electronic media. It's for me, it's really, really exciting to see, wow, now vertical films on an iPhone that are touching trillions of people. The other part of it is I get to pretend and be something that I am not. I met I met your mother on the movie industry, and So it gives you a lot of wealth. Let me say that. And it may not be wealth of money, but it's wealth of spirit and experience, and to meet so many people like on this crew, every walks of life. And I think that's what's the beauty of people on earth, is that we get to share our spirit, our mana'o, our visions. We get to share something. Being on a movie set is 18 hours, maybe, mostly 16, 18 hours. You're a family there. And I think that for me, as a young lad, being on set with my father was the time we spent together. For those who know, craft service is an interesting thing. It brings many people to the coffee. And in the old days, you had to pay for your craft service. Did you know that? You had to pay for craft service. I'm looking at our director. He goes, you have to pay for craft service? You did. And they would take a film can, right? And you would, a hard-boiled egg was a nickel, right? And a donut was like a dime. And then a quarter was a sandwich. And when you went to the craft service, you would tap it, because I didn't have any money. So I would tap it, and the craft service guy would go, oh, so Branscombe was getting a hard-boiled egg, and he paid for his hard-boiled egg. What I'm getting at is you eat, you sleep, you spend time together, you share, you meet your wives, you meet your husbands.
You divorce your wife.
You divorce your wife, but it's part of a family. And if you don't have that, you are kind of in trouble. And the reason for that is because you have to have, you got to give love and you got to take love, and you got to be able to bring something. And that's why you guys were always on set as young kids. You and your brothers and your sister.
Yeah, I mean, it was always a dream. It was a dream for me. Like I said, I grew up on set. Before I was into anything else, I just wanted to be around my dad, and then I fell in love with movies. I was always an artist.
I'm glad you guys didn't drown on Baywatch.
Yeah, I suck.
First Baywatch,
yeah,
not Jason's Baywatch.
Yeah. I sucked at school, and but I was good at art and PE, and I found my people, and that's what a movie set is. I think a movie set, a TV set is like, we're like the outcasts from high school, and who all found a place together to work and be ourselves.
Would you say you guys weren't disciplined? Right,
I'm still not disciplined.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the whole beautiful thing, is not only does my immediate family, Leohu, Terani, Bro, we all work on set, even on my son Rhapsody and cinema. They've already been in stuff already. It's the great love of our lives. It's the only thing we know. You know what I mean? Is to work.
You guys fall down and crash really good. That's all I got to tell you.
When the camera's not rolling, we fall down.
Yeah, fall down and crash.
Yeah, and we still say cut for some weird reason.
And that's a sign of a good stunt kid.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing, and I really got to say, I mean, obviously my dad knows how grateful I am, but
how grateful are you?
I'm pretty grateful.
I'm so grateful.
I'm very grateful. Yeah, no, I'm just grateful that I have this thing that I love in life more than anything, and cinema. My daughter's name is Cinema. You know what I mean? I love movies. I breathe movies. I watch movies every day. I go to the movies by myself every Thursday. It is my thing.
Yeah.
And I will die making movies.
You made Mom babysit Cinema one time. You said, I got to go to this movie. It's opening. I got to go to this movie.
Yeah.
And Mom said, I can't babysit. She's only 3 days old or something. It was a 3-week-old or something.
3 hours.
3 hours. And Mom will never forget that. She goes, the baby was crying the whole time.
Yeah.
So yeah.
No, it's a great love of my life, and it's just an honor to be able to do that with you, and
because I can.
Because I can. Yeah.
And by the way, I want to say something about Angie.
Yeah.
Angie Laprete, our producer on this show and that show and every other show.
The biggest producer in Hawaii.
The biggest, the dynamicest. Fairai almost got arrested in Tarzana, and just thought I'd say that to you. Filming down Ventura Boulevard, Angie, and you live right off of Ventura Boulevard in Tarzana. So I'm just letting you know, home of Tarzan.
I'm still almost getting arrested for making guerrilla films.
Do you have a permit? No, I don't
tell
have a
the
permit.
film commission here.
Yeah,
yeah. Super grateful for this.
Thank you,
ICAN.
I can. You know why? You can. I can. We all can.
We can.
No can.
No can.
Don't say no can.
Yeah, no can.
Can.
Mahalo ke akua. God bless you guys.
Woo.
Aloha.
Aloha.